The following program is designed for entertainment purposes only. Patrick Mahomes is the best QB in the league and will crush the Dolphins today. The guys have no clue what they are talking about, and any correct predictions made are completely luck. The opinions expressed are those of the Fired Up Sports Network, and if you are offended, boo-hoo. Now enjoy the show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tailgate Sunday Week 9. We are coming at you live from the Fired Up Sports Studio. I'm going to get this out of the way right now. I don't know how long we're going to be on the air today. We have the Dolphins and Chiefs on live. We have our Dolphin fan here. He's not happy, and I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. Jeff, talk to me, brother. What's going on?
Nothing. Nothing is going on. Nothing. I truly don't think Mahomes is very good. I think Frankie have made a very good observation in saying that he sucks. He does suck. If he doesn't make a completion, if he's not a positive, his hands go up like this every 2 seconds. And dude, he's not that fucking good. I've been watching. He's not that good. It's pathetic. Pathetic on the Dolphins' part. I'm not going to get started with that, but I truly don't think. And plus, if he's going to, like I told you before, if they're going to fuck me, at least help me and throw the ball to fucking Kelsey. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, I'm going to go with the disclaimer of his opinion's his opinion. Mahomes, it's not his best showing right now. The hands are going up, yeah, but I'm not discrediting this dude. I will never agree with Frankie. Sorry, not sorry.
Not good. He's not good. He's not good.
Dolphins need to come out here and play better football in the second half. I mean, that defensive touchdown right there, Hill fumbling, the Chiefs made – it looks like they drew that play up, even though you can't draw up a play like that. The lateral back to Cook pick, ends up being a fumble touchdown. That was just bad football.
An embarrassment.
And they got to play better in the second half, man. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep. It's pretty bad. But now they're in halftime, so we don't have to really worry about that for at least the next 20 minutes.
All right, we're gonna get you through 20 minutes of the show, people. Get with us. So now, Jeff, let's get into Thursday Night Football. Steelers, they came back. They were down at the half, came back to win 20-16. Deontay Johnson finally found the end zone, dude. I mean, it feels like it's been forever.
20 games, right?
Yep, 20 games without a touchdown. He got in the end zone, and now George Pickens wants to leave. Did you see that? This whole George Pickens thing?
Yeah. I don't blame him. I mean, I don't think Pickett's bad, but I don't know. That whole team, it's defense and nothing. That's all it is. I mean, they have offensive weapons. I just don't know if Pickett. I mean, he's good, but I don't know.
Dude, what is it? What is it with the fucking wide receivers in Pittsburgh? AB, Claypool, now Pickens. These guys, do they specialize in finding the head cases?
Yeah, it seems that way. But I think it's just because towards the end, you had a beat up Roethlisberger. And he couldn't really throw the ball that far. He was more of a Chad Pennington than anything. Then you get Pickett, and I think Pickett is good. It's just I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know what the situation is, but there's something wrong with him. He's good, but he's not. It's, you know what I mean?
I
He's
think
not
he's
as
still
good as
developing.
Alex, who is like a game manager. He's like around that level, slightly below it.
Yeah, I think he's still developing, and I think to me he was always a project. I just think they never brought in the right veteran to play in front of him while they wanted it to develop. Trubisky was never going to beat him out in an open competition. I
No,
always felt that way personally. They didn't bring a good enough quarterback in to push him and to play ahead of him. So they had no choice but to go with him. To me,
yeah,
he was a guy that needed like maybe the Jordan Love treatment of sitting a couple of years and waiting to develop.
yeah, yeah. But Jordan Love sucks too. So it's I don't care how long you sit there and you wait. If it's either you're good or you're not. Like you know, I watched. I mean, a guy like Aaron Rodgers sat for the same amount of time as Jordan Love, but Jordan Love, you could see, is not that good. Like he's not nearly as good. But yeah, I don't think sitting really matters. You just might as well throw him in there, like let him go. Just gotta have a nice offensive line because if he gets hit a bunch, you're gonna get shell shocked, kind of like how Tannehill was, and kind of how Sam Howell's getting. Like, dude's getting hit every time he snaps the ball, but you can't get him shell shocked if you're gonna play him. But just let him go. Let him go.
Absolutely. But you know what? On the same aspect, Will Levis doesn't look shell-shocked at all.
He looks good.
Like,
I like him.
This guy, he looks like, even if it wasn't his strongest game, it wasn't as good as last week. The kid, he looks like he gets it, man. And that's a
he's
big
good. He had one bad throw at
Yeah.
the end. He had one bad throw. Other than that, he looks the part. He looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, he really looks like he gets it. Where a lot, like you said, Kenny Pickett, the jury's still out there if he does get it, and that's to me that goes with the development. And if he's going to develop anywhere, honestly, it's Pittsburgh. They develop football players there in Pittsburgh. If there's one thing they know how to do and they do it right, they develop football players at every position.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing in there, it's not even Kenny Pickett to me. It's the drastic fall off of Najee Harris. Like what is up there?
Yeah, you gotta go with Warren. Jalen Warren's the guy. Like, just let him go. He's faster. He's leave Najee to be like the goal line guy. But I don't know. Like it happens with running backs all the time. You see it all the time.
I don't. Yeah,
slow
but
down.
I mean,
You don't know when it's going to be 3 years into your career. Is it going to be 6 years into your career? It doesn't matter. Like they once they start slowing down, it's very hard to get them going again.
I agree with you, but I also don't remember seeing this drastic of a turnoff by an every down back this fast. I mean, you have your guys, your flash in the pans that have a good year here and there, but Najee Harris came into Pittsburgh as an every down back, and then all of a sudden, he just fell off.
Yeah.
And it's just like Warren is definitely I don't understand how it's taken Tomlin's usually a guy I always felt he plays his best players. You never see any bullshit with Mike Tomlin. Like his best guys are out there and his best guys are going to play. That's why Kenny Pickett started since the beginning of last season. Kenny Pickett went out and won the job. Kenny Pickett was his best quarterback. Kenny Pickett played.
I want to see them move an offense without Canada there. Like I want to see somebody else get that shot, because I also feel like that has something to do with it also. Like you can't there's a lot of talent on the offense and they just don't score a lot. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think Pickett's that bad, but there's something missing, and it just could be Matt Canada. I mean, I think if you get rid of him, like somebody else, it could be that. I don't know, but there's something holding it back, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I kind of did. Now I think it's Canada. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say it's Canada.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take it a step further. November 5th, 2023. I'm telling you this right now. Byron Leftwich is going to be the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year.
All right. I like it.
It's going to happen.
I like it.
If they're going to bring in Leftwich, they're going to change the offense up, and that's where you're going to see if Kenny Pickett in a competent offense is the guy to me. You're now talking about that'll be year 3. It would be a much better offense, but yeah, they need to make a change. And if it's not,
defense is good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they're a bad team, but they're not a bad team. You know what I mean? Like they're missing something.
No,
and it's obviously on offense, because I think
it's the offensive execution. It's the running game. Like I said, when Warren is in there, it's completely different, and it's a completely better running game. They're not opening up the field. They'll
No.
dare their teams can go out there now and dare Kenny Pickett to beat them. And that's really what it is. They can put 7 in the box. They can stack the box and be like, okay, we know you're not going to run the ball. And if you do, you're not going to run it well because Najee's not running well. We're going to put these guys in the box and see if Kenny Pickett can beat us. And majority of the time right now, he's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, the defense is good. And that was the other thing I saw with going back to Levis is I think he's very good. I think what they need to do is kind of what they somewhat did today, the other day, was it Thursday, is get Derrick Henry the ball more. When you give him 20 plus touches, like the guy he can still barrel through people, like you could see it. I think you really, really need to get the ball in his hands more. And I think that will make Levis that much better.
Agreed. And I think they need, and at the same time, they need to use Tajee Spears more too. I think that they have a hell of a 1-2 punch there that could probably add a couple of years to Henry's effectiveness.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be able to touch the ball 20 times a game forever. Like
No.
we've honestly been saying this now probably for 2 or 3 years that he's just not, like, it's not sustainable. Like
right.
it's not sustainable at the position. But Tajee Spears, like the two of them together, I'll say it right now, if you get them between 25 and 30 touches combined, Will Levis is going to have a lot more success.
Yeah. And he's got a good arm too, man. Like there was one he just kind of like flicked, just a quick little flick. The guy's got an arm. He's pretty, for being like, what was that, his second time he was in? No, I don't think that. I don't think that. I know Joe likes that idea. And
no, I mean
Joe, but I don't think so. No.
No, I don't agree.
It's just he's just got to stop going headfirst into everything.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson just needs to stop going to the Josh Allen school of we don't slide.
Just get down, dude. Get down.
You're not Derrick. We were just talking about Derrick Henry. Anthony Richardson needs to remember he's not Derrick Henry, and he needs to go down. Just like Josh Allen, the same thing you could say about him as well.
Yeah, I don't care about him either, though. I could care less about him.
No,
I don't know.
All right,
what are the games you're on today?
We're gonna move right along. We're gonna move into our first matchup of the day. It's going to be, what do we got? Seattle and the Ravens.
Yeah, I like both teams. I think the Ravens are getting better, and now Lamar has way more weapons. He can be used a lot better. But I think the Seahawks team is really good. This is probably one of the best games you're going to watch all day.
Absolutely.
I think the Seahawks are very good, and I think they have a chance to win the West, the NFC West. I think they're better right now than the 49ers. I think they're one of the better teams in the NFC, obviously minus probably Philly. I still like San Fran, but I think the Seahawks can steal it. I think they're good enough. This is a rough one, man. This is a rough one. I think it's going to be a defensive game, but it's going to come down to, I think, Lamar Jackson. He's either going to win it for them, the Ravens, or he's going to lose it for the Ravens. It's going to be one or the other, but I don't know, man. The Ravens are starting to click, and see, I don't know. Seahawks got a good defense.
The Ravens are clicking.
I just don't know if I trust Geno Smith. It's the only thing. I don't think I trust Geno Smith. But other than that, this is gonna be a fun game to watch. It's
the Ravens are starting to click, and Lamar Jackson doesn't lose to the NFC. It's two.
Was he 17-1 or something like that?
Yep, 17-1 in his career against the NFC.
That's why I like
it. The defense. One of the best matchups we're gonna see all day: Zay Flowers and Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good one. That's going to show. That could be a deciding factor in the game. Who wins that matchup? Who wins the game? But it's also really, to me, it comes down to even simpler. You said Lamar. To me, it comes down to which Geno Smith shows up. If the Geno Smith that's thrown 5 interceptions in the last 3 games show up, Seattle has no shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'm saying, like I just like the Ravens because I think the Ravens, they're kind of like how I always say the Bengals are. Like they start off slow. It's kind of like the same thing with this. Oh, nice. Cool. All right.
Ravens in 9 is
I
interesting.
kind of like that. But yeah, well, a little teaser with Lamar Jackson. I have him as one of my props in our parlay. I think he's going to go over those yards. It's really going to depend on him. I think it's going to be a good defensive game, but it's going to depend on Lamar. Lamar's going to win or lose it, and I don't know. I like the Ravens. I think the Ravens are good. I think the
I'm
Ravens.
going with the Ravens in this one too. I think the Ravens are hitting their stride. I think the offense is starting to click, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're starting to really. And Zay Flowers is going to be the guy. Like he's good. He's good. He's very good.
Zay Flowers, Gus Edwards is playing well. Also,
right.
I mean, they're offense. Mark Andrews is walking.
Imagine they don't have any injuries this year. How good they really could be.
Exactly. I mean, that would. I mean, there's a lot of teams we could say that about, but the Ravens are definitely.
Yeah, but they're like, I mean, they're like absolutely riddled with injuries. Like, I mean, their entire team's hurt. Their entire team's hurt.
Definitely towards the top of that list is definitely the Ravens.
Like J.K. Dobbins, like he puts in, like he's so fat. Well, he might not be fast anymore because of all the surgeries and shit he's getting. But like that dude, he's someone that can take a screen and take it 30 yards, and that's really what they're really missing is that guy. So I don't know. I do. God, yeah. I kind of like the Ravens here. Kind of like the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens as well. You know, to keep it moving along after that, we're both on the Ravens. Let's get into it. This game now is probably more about what's happened during the week than the actual game itself. We got the Giants at the Raiders. I mean, what went on in Vegas this week is something that most people are going to say it should have never started, but guess what? It did. And I mean, Mark Davis it's costing him $85 million.
Wait, I got this for you. Check this out. The Raiders still owe John Gruden approximately $50 million with his fully guaranteed contract expiring in 2028. Between Gruden and McDaniels, the Raiders are paying about $90 million for them not to coach.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
But they're also spending between Gruden, Dave Ziegler, and offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi, it's approximately $85 million that they're going to spend to have these people not in the organization. Plus, they had to give Champ Kelly, who's now the interim GM, and Antonio Pierce, who's the interim coach, they had to rework their contracts to bump them up. So this is probably, we're talking around
this guy's just
100. This is about $100 million, not even including Gruden. With the Gruden contract out of it, it's about $100 million we're talking about right there. That it's just insane the amount of money that he's to fix his mistakes. Because most people will tell you, I mean, you probably won't hear much flack about Ziegler because he's pretty much not that much well known. But most people will tell you they didn't want McDaniels as head coach. The negative things you heard about him in Denver, they resurfaced here out in Las Vegas. I mean, I saw one thing yesterday. They were saying Hunter Renfrow used to prank call him at 2:00 in the morning, say, "I'm open," and hang up the phone.
Yeah. Well, all right. We got Mostert doing some moves. Let me see. Is there a flag? I'm sure there's a flag because there was a lot of yards gone here. I'm going to be so in and out of it.
We're back to the second half.
So I apologize. I'm just going to be all in and out of this.
Yeah,
so
exactly. We'll apologize for the language that's going to come through the show now.
So bad. Do you realize that they've had more head coaches right now when they went to Las Vegas a few years ago? They've had more head coaches than the Steelers have
in their history, in their entire organization. Yep.
How insane is that?
No, it's I don't know who's gonna want that job.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's one name that comes to mind, and it's gonna be even if he's allowed to coach next year, and it might be Harbaugh.
No, I can see Harbaugh going to Chicago if nothing gets better there.
That's another possibility. I think he's done at Michigan after this, regardless if he comes out of this whole scandal.
That whole scandal involved. I mean, look, the guy. I know we're gonna get off topic here, but that guy was in the Marines. He was like a decoder of whatever it was. That's what he did. He took codes and he decoded that, and just like that's like stealing signs, like, which is the same thing. That's all he did. Like, it's not his fault that's how. I mean, I think that whole thing was all bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah, no, it seems like a lot more smoke and mirrors than. But the whole
Yeah,
thing is, I think he's going to leave Michigan. I think this is going to be like he's had enough of the college life and all that crap. But apparently, there's a rumor going around now that if he is suspended by the NCAA, the NFL will not hire him until he served that suspension. Like they're not going to let him just escape. That's a couple of the things that I heard. But
yeah,
I think he might be a guy that might go to the Raiders. I mean, I don't see it as I don't find it as an attractive job, though. I really don't think you're going to have a lot of people out there. I mean, Antonio Pierce may end up being the best thing for them.
Everything I've been hearing about with Antonio Pierce when he was captain of the Giants and people that have played with him and teammates and everybody, like, they've all said the same thing. Like, this guy's going to be good. They said they don't know how great the offense is going to be, but he does know that he has to get the ball in Davante Adams' hands, and that's what you're going to see a little bit today. Of like, I think you're going to see more of that. Is they're going to feed it to him, and Aiden O'Connell is going to be the QB, and that's another little teaser I'm going to have for later on the bold picks, because a couple of weeks ago I said that he was going to go over 300 yards, and he didn't play. I thought he was supposed to start. He didn't, so he's getting his start now. And he has to get the ball to Davante Adams. You have to. That's your best player. If you can't get the ball in your best player's hands, you're not going to win. And
hopefully, I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know who they brought in as the new offensive coordinator for the rest of the season. I would imagine one of the first things they've made sure of is making Davante Adams a priority and getting the ball in his hands. It's got to be. But now going on to the Giants side of the ball, Daniel Jones is back today. Joe just said it to us a minute ago, and he's 100% right. This is it. This is Daniel Jones' 2024 audition. Because if Daniel Jones turns his season around, the Giants aren't going to be in a position to draft a quarterback. But if he doesn't, they're going to be in the top 5 to 7 of the draft. And it's going to be pretty impossible to ignore the quarterbacks out of there.
Last night, USC versus Washington.
Yeah, Joe Shane was there.
Watching those two quarterbacks.
He may or may not have given Caleb Williams a tissue after the game. I don't know.
That guy just cared. He just cares too much. That's the problem. He cares too much. I think. I don't know. I watched. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge off JJ McCarthy, but I think he could be pretty decent. I'm not saying he's going to be Tom Brady. I just say he could be like Tom Brady-esque. He's just a little bit more mobile.
I agree, but I have a funny feeling, getting back to Harbaugh for a second.
May's going to go first overall, by the way.
That if Harbaugh comes into the NFL, it's probably, again, it's going to be on a bad team because no good team's firing their coach.
No.
I wouldn't be shocked if he takes J.J. McCarthy on the team that he's coaching. And that very well could be the Raiders.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, Davis loves getting the names like Gruden and McDaniel. He likes getting those names. So, like, I can see that part of it, but I don't know if Harbaugh wants that life. He doesn't seem like he's that Vegas kind of guy. Like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think in Chicago.
But also, the one thing I could say is Davis is famous for giving his coaches total control, which is something that we've long heard that Harbaugh wants if he comes back to the NFL. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, this to me is it. Again, I'm still not okay as a Giant fan, and I'm probably not going to be for the rest of the year. But this is where we're going to see what Daniel Jones is for 2024 and beyond. Because if he doesn't turn the season around starting today, I think we are drafting a quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, I think you should regardless. I don't think Daniel Jones is very good at all. I think you got to draft somebody regardless. He's not good. You get, what is it, this year and next year, and then he can get out of it?
It's like after next year. The guaranteed money is only guaranteed.
He's not good. This is the deepest draft of quarterbacks too. In
exactly.
Time.
Like this is the place. This is the place you're gonna do it, and I believe that they kind of set themselves up that way. I believe they set the contract up knowing what this draft was about.
Yeah.
and knowing that they could do it. And even if it was a competition going in there for a year, guys, again, like Bo Nix, another damn good prospect coming out. But I think they set themselves up for a year to be able to look at it, still have the quarterback on the rookie contract. They have to pay Daniel Jones next year regardless, but we're going to see. But the Giants, we talked about the Ravens with injuries. Giants got a lot too, man. I mean, we're hopeful today.
I don't think they're very good though to begin with. Like, I think even with the injuries, like
I
if they were
agree.
healthy, I still don't think they're. I think it's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. I liked him last year. I thought that was a turnaround. Then I realized that's not. He's just not good. He's just.
I
Not
agree.
Good.
I agree with you. But one guy we can't. There's no debate about if he's good. Andrew Thomas. Hopefully he's back today. We still haven't gotten the official word on that. He's still listed as questionable.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas needs to be back. Evan Neal still listed as questionable as well. One guy that won't be back, Darren Waller, is not making his return to Vegas because
He's on the IR, all right.
Yep, as Darren
Tyrod.
Waller does. He's on the IR. Him, Tyrod, Graham Gano, all put on the IR. Wouldn't be shocked not to see any of them back for the rest of the season, to be honest with you, because we all know Darren Waller doesn't heal. And if Jones is there, we don't need Tyrod. And what are you going to rush Gano back for at this point?
No.
You sign a kicker.
You're not doing anything. You're not moving. You're not going anywhere.
No.
Just like tank without making it too obvious. But just tank, man. It's just you need a quarterback. That team will never be good without one. They don't also have no weapons, really. I mean, I don't know if Barkley's coming back, but you would have to try and look for another running back. You have no wide receivers. I mean, that team is just an absolute shitsville, man. They got nothing. They got to start from scratch.
They went the route.
They should have traded Barkley and gotten.
I agree. Once you decided to trade Leonard Williams, I don't know why they didn't go in.
What was the point?
I don't know what, Joe. It's not even about being triggered, Joe. It's a bad run, or it was some bad moves. If you're going to trade Leonard Williams, trade him. Fine. I don't love the fact that we're giving up on the season. I love the second and fifth round pick. I can't deny that. He got a great return for him. But why did we stop there? Why wasn't Adoree Jackson moved? Why wasn't Barkley? Why did they make the comment? We're not going to move Barkley. Why?
That made no sense.
What are you getting out of it right now? You could have moved him to a team like the Ravens, like I said 3 weeks ago, or even possibly the Browns, and you could have got something there. I don't understand.
The Ravens I know would have been a
absolutely not, Joe. I do not think at all Daniel Jones was great. What I said about Daniel Jones the last time was I understand what they did because the team wasn't in position to take a step backwards. Who were they bringing in after last year that wasn't a step backwards? Garoppolo, he can't even beat out fucking Aiden O'Connell in Las Vegas right now. What were they going to do? Go trade for Trubisky? Trubisky sucks. There was nobody. You were going to turn this team over to a rookie QB, a team that won a playoff game? No, they had to stay the course for at least one season, and they did what they had to do. But I don't believe at all that these guys are the greatest to put on the uniform. I think we should have moved on from Barkley.
Yeah, you needed to trade Barkley. You just had to. That was so bad. Yeah, they got a call, and then what they do, they just gave it right back. It doesn't really fucking matter what we do.
Can somebody send this?
Everyone's gonna do this thing where everyone's gonna try and troll me and everything like that. I don't give a fuck.
This guy had to go to work. I wish he'd fucking go already.
You guys are not good at it. It's weak. It's useless. I don't give a fuck.
But like that's the thing. The Giants, it's going to be. We're looking at the offseason now, and I'm going to be honest with you. Finish the season with some pride. I don't want to see them go out there and
lose. Get a better draft pick.
But this is what life as a Giant fan is. You know what they're going to do? They are going to win enough of their remaining games to fall out of the top 5. That's the reality of what's going to go on here, because that's what they do. They don't give you what you want. They're not gonna gift wrap Bo Nix or May. Like, no, they're gonna drop us down to 7.
You'll be able to get Bo Nix. Bo Nix is not going very high. I think he's a good quarterback. Right now you have May, you have Caleb, you have probably JJ McCarthy, probably Shedeur Sanders if he goes. Michael Penix. You have plenty of guys that are going to go before Bo Nix. You can get Bo Nix. You probably get him in second, third round, probably the third round.
I don't think Shador Sanders is coming out, but that's a different story. That's a different story for a different day. That kid's got to go back and prove he can play behind a better offensive line.
Right, but I think, but that's what it is. Like you can still get a quarterback. You're going to get a decent quarterback. But you got to like, I don't know. You got to lose. You got to lose, man. You got to just throw the season away. Get as high of a draft pick as you can get. Again, they should have gotten rid of Barkley. You need to trade Barkley. You should have traded anyone that was tradable. You should have traded and
you know what?
Needs a lot of help.
I'm going to say something that I never thought I'd utter words in my life, but I agree with Chet. I would love, as a Giant fan, to see the Giants pull off getting Marvin Harrison in the first round and then getting Bo Nix in the second round, or trading our 2 second-round picks, trading up into the back end of the first round for Bo Nix if you had to. That, to me, would be a home run first beginning of a draft for the Giants. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Bo Callahan. Here we go. All right, Jeff, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to get into the NFC matchup of the day. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you like in this one, man?
I don't know. I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are good. I think Dak is a regular season quarterback. I think it's going to come down to Philly's defensive line against the Cowboys' offensive line. And if Jalen Carter and those guys, if they can get and they can start rushing Dak, pretty much should be game over. The Cowboys haven't been good since they lost Diggs. Like, they're a completely different team now without Diggs. And I think one player can make a big difference. But that's really what it comes down to. And it's going to come down to the offensive line versus the defensive line. Can you get to Dak? Because I don't think the Cowboys, even Parsons, I don't think he's going to get to Jalen. I think Jalen's a little too quick. I think they're smart enough to draw up a couple plays that are going to be fast, get the ball out of his hands quick. So I think that's going to have something to do with it. But I like the Eagles overall, though, in this game. I do like them.
I like the Eagles in the game, but based on the spread, I picked Dallas in this game, and it's only because I think it's going to be tight.
It's division games are always close. So
I think it's going to be tight, but I think the Eagles win the game. My number one question in this game is the number one question anywhere where this guy steps on the field. Can anyone cover A.J. Brown? And I at this point, I don't know. I mean, he's playing next level right now. This guy, and especially without Diggs, I don't know if they can hold A.J. Brown, and that could be the deciding factor in this one.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think A.J. Brown's the best wide receiver in the league, and that's including even Justin Jefferson, even being hurt. I think A.J. Brown's the best wide receiver. I still think Tyreek Hill is the most uncoverable receiver. Not to mention, I mean, the guy makes some crazy plays with, in traffic. He's catching the ball almost constantly. He also fumbles, but A.J. Brown he reminds me of like a Calvin Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, he's like big, strong, like he just overpowers everybody. And that catch he had was insane. It was insane.
You know what it is? You know what it is, honestly, with A.J. Brown, man? And we were just talking about this a few minutes ago with Devontae Adams. They built an offense in Philadelphia once they acquired A.J. Brown to prioritize A.J. Brown. And they made sure he is the focal point of their offense. But they also have a guy on the other side of the field, Devontae Smith, that if you're going to send your whole defense after A.J. Brown, they'll kill you with Devontae Smith. But that's the whole thing. That should be the Raiders' blueprint, is what the Eagles' offensive staff has done to build their offense around A.J. Brown.
Right.
And as far as the other, if there is an offensive line out there that I think that's capable of holding Micah Parsons, it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, man. Line. If you can get, I'm not sure how they're going to line up, but I mean, you have Lane Johnson. I think because they have one of the better offensive lines in football too. They're really, really solid. And I agree with that. I think you got to take Micah Parsons out. If you could take him out, not literally, but if you could take him out of the plan, get the ball out of your hand fast, just a couple slants here and there, then pop one up. I think getting the ball to A.J. Brown. In my notes, I put A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift. If you can get those two guys the ball, you're going to win pretty much single-handed. Like, it's going to be easy. It's going to be an easy win if those two can get the ball in their hands the most. Those are
absolutely. And I mean, the biggest question is always, we said it about Geno Smith earlier. I'm going to say it again now. Which Dak shows up?
Yeah. I don't know. It's regular season Dak. I mean, regular season Dak's pretty good. It's after that.
Yeah.
Then he sucks.
I mean, that's really the reality of what comes to it. I mean, Dak's got to play big for them to have a chance. Like I said, I like the Cowboys because of the points.
Well, yeah, but the points I'll take, but also don't forget the Cowboys. Everyone talks about frauds and they throw around that word fraud. Like, let's look at the Cowboys wins.
The Cowboys are the poster boys for frauds.
Cowboys got Giants, suck. Jets, suck. Patriots, suck. Chargers, terrible. Rams, really bad. Those are your 5 wins. Teams that suck. I mean, they are bad. And the Jets are playing better, but let's be real. They suck.
I mean,
their offense.
The Jets, but the difference between those teams and the Jets is I'll give the Jets a little empathy, and we'll get into that because the Jets are doing it without Aaron Rodgers. I mean, these teams are doing it with the starting quarterbacks that they've paid tens of millions of dollars to, and they've committed to.
Yeah,
the Jets are in a situation that they never wanted to see again, at least not in the next year or two. At minimum.
Oh God, there goes Tua running again. Please slide. Nice block.
They just didn't want to see it. But Jeff, we're gonna move off. We're gonna get into what I think is going to be probably the game of the day.
Yeah,
Buffalo and Cincinnati. I mean, this is where the Bills season took a draft. This is where the NFL season last year took a drastic turn. The whole Damar Hamlin. It's gonna be very emotional out there today to start the game. But I think once
he's shooting up,
I'd be shocked if he's not.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely shocked. I mean, nothing's official yet, but I'd be shocked if Damar Hamlin's not suited up for this game. But at the same time, I think once the whistle blows, I think it's time to play. And these are two teams like Cincinnati, 3 straight wins. Buffalo has been inconsistent all year. Burrow's looking healthy. I like
man. He's ready.
I like Cincinnati in this one. And it's not even a hesitation on my part to say that I like the Cincinnati Bengals in this game.
I love Cincy right now. In this game, I know it's a Damar Hamlin game, but I love Cincy. They always, like I said, slow starters. Then they get cracking. Joe Burrow seems to be healthy when he was banged up calf, whatever he had. He looks way better now. That offense is starting to go. The defense is kind of shit. But I also don't think the Bills are another one. I don't think they're very good. No. There's a lot of teams that we think are good. I don't think they're very good. I think if you're a betting man, you're going to bet the over in this game. You got to bet the over.
I agree. I agree with you. I think the Bengal defense has actually looked a little better. That's going to be
Wait,
big.
Billy, wait. We got a touchdown, Dolphins. We're getting right back in this. We are back. We're back. We're back.
Happy Jeff is here for at least a moment.
At least for until another possession.
Wilson with the touchdown for Miami. But one thing I'm going to say, the biggest difference on the two defenses right now, Buffalo's really thin at linebacker from, again, the injury bug.
That's something with all the injuries. They're a different team. I think Burrow's going to launch it over them. I mean, they're done.
I think you're going to see a lot in the middle of the field to exploit those linebackers. You're going to see probably a lot of Joe Mixon. You're going to see a lot to the tight ends. You're going to see a lot of probably quick slants to the middle of the field in the start of the game to open it up. I think you're going to see Buffalo be exploited on defense, and the thin linebackers. Burrow's got to use his weapons, though. That's what it really comes down to. Joe brought up T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Mixon. They got to use these guys, and they've got one of the best sets of offensive weapons, probably in the NFL, that you don't even hear a hell of a lot about. Because let's be serious, you don't hear as much about the Cincinnati Bengals weapons as you do a lot of other top teams in the NFL.
Yeah. No. But I do think, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You really don't. I mean, Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, but like T. Higgins, I like him. I like Mixon. And you got Boyd. I mean, yeah, no, they do have a lot of weapons. It's just a matter of Burrow. But I think with this defense, being the linebackers being as hurt as they are, I think no problem. I think Burrow throws all over them today. I don't think Buffalo is very good. And it's not because they're not good. It's just because I think with all the injuries to their linebackers and secondary, I think that's what makes them not very good.
No, I agree with you. Like I said, you said the over. I agree with you.
100% the over.
It could turn into a shootout, but the one thing I'll tell you right now, Buffalo's not going to win the shootout.
Yeah.
They're not, because they're going to strike on that Buffalo defense a lot more, I think, than Buffalo will strike on the Cincinnati defense.
Now speaking of overs, unders, betting, we got someone in the back right now, and we're going to bring him on, and he's going to let us know what he thinks. Mr. Duckus, what's happening, man?
What's up, everybody? How you guys making out today?
Not great. Not great. At least for me, it's not great.
Yeah, I know. Miami's losing.
We're not having a good time, man.
I know. They just put in a touchdown. I don't know if you're watching.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'm stopping half the time when we're talking about one team. I'm just jumping to the TV and screaming at whatever. So yeah, I'm a little bit all over the place, but I can't not watch. And it's gonna be very entertaining for a lot of people with me watching the game and doing this at the same time.
The best thing is it's 11:41 and Jeff has not gotten us thrown off the air yet, so I'm going to take the win there. But Jim, we were just talking about the Buffalo Cincinnati game. We both like the over in that. Tell us what you like today.
You know, you guys are going to think I'm a little nuts. My favorite plays going into the rest of the day are the Cowboys, and I love the Panthers.
Okay.
2.5. The numbers like, what are we doing? But you know what? The Panthers got off the schneid last week. They're plus 2.5. They're at home. And this is where they're going to get going.
Yeah. Home dogs, baby. Home dogs.
Love home dogs. Love the home dogs. And the Cowboys, you know, everybody loves the Eagles. Cowboys started playing well again. You know, they have that good defense. They're getting 3. They're in 3. It's going to be.
Plus, we said we'll take the points. Like Cowboys take the points. I think if you're going to go money line, I think the Eagles do squeak it out. But yes, I think it would be stupid not to take the points only because it's division games. Division games, especially in the NFC East, is always tight. Like they're always close games. No matter how bad or good a team is, they're always playing close.
Exactly. That's exactly why I want the Cowboys too.
Who doesn't listen? Even if you're a Cowboy hater, who doesn't want the Eagles to lose? I'm on my show here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let them know, man.
The best part of that whole thing was I'm the only one on this show that took the Panthers today.
Well, yeah. I love the pick. I love where your head's at. You know, I'm trying to think where else. You know, we're probably everybody's talking about an under in the Vikings game. I think that number's going to end up being close. You know, you're going to have some sloppy play in there. I think Hall's going to do all right. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, the Vikings win that game. I think they're an overall better team.
Yeah, the points. We can't tackle. Yeah, taking the points with the Vikings is everyone's been kind of, at least when I've been seeing, everyone's kind of hammering it. I went. I don't know. The shitty part is I do picks for here, then I do separate picks for something else. And the problem is, like, I think about it too much. When I think too much, we have a problem. And I always overthink it, and then I change my picks. So that's my issue. But Vikings points, always taking them. Yes, I do, but I don't know.
Start from the beginning, right? 21.
I just don't trust that quarterback. I don't trust the BYU quarterback. I don't. So it's hard for me to go that way.
Yeah, no, I understand. My other favorite play of the day, I don't know if I mentioned it, is the Seahawks on the road against Baltimore. Baltimore's been running the town lately. that number 6.5, to me, the number should be a little bit higher. I think that Baltimore would be favored still in Seattle.
Mhm.
And the fact that number 6.5, it's been sitting at 6.5. Everything I've seen, most of the money is on the Ravens. It hasn't moved off of that 6.5. Am I accurate? It's still 6.5.
I think it is still 6.5.
So
At least that's what we have it at, right, Billy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 6.5.
I like Seattle plus the 6.5 points. They have good weapons to keep up with the Ravens. They'll be able to run the ball.
And I was saying earlier when we did that game, I said I think the Seahawks are way better than people give them credit for. It's just, I mean, it's Geno Smith, but their defense is solid. I think that they're a lot better. And I said I think they can win the West. I think they can win the West over the Niners. I think they're that good.
Absolutely. And I don't think the Niners are as good as everybody makes them out to be. They're a very solid team.
They were.
Right. That's it. Like,
Purdy
is not the end-all, be-all. And it comes down to the defense's ability to get to the quarterback without blitzing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Their secondary is really not that great. Their secondary looks better because their defensive line's been able to get to the quarterback without blitzing.
That division is a two-team race. I don't care what anybody says. Seattle has just as good of a chance to win it. I personally like Baltimore today, but I can't say I don't like your pick. It's not one of those where I'm like, oh, you're out of your mind. But I just feel that Baltimore is playing at a different level right now. I love Lamar against the NFC. He's proved 17-1 in his career. He's proven he owns the NFC basically, but it's definitely going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think we might get a backdoor cover out of that Seattle. I like the 6.5. I think it's that good number.
Very easily could happen. I definitely
feel like that
disagree with you on it.
At 6.5 to get people to be on the Ravens. They didn't make it that 7.5 that it should have been. They made it that 6.5 for a reason.
We think. Let me see. I think we have. Yeah, line is
Line's now up to 7.
Line is now 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now what do we do?
I take the touchdown and I go with it. Touchdowns in the NFL, especially with two good teams. Like, I don't even know what's going on behind me. What's going on?
It's still at 21-7.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, this is a flag. A flag every time they're snapping the ball is a flag. This is getting ridiculous. Slowing the game down, drive me insane. And then
Chiefs, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think we've learned that. Yeah.
Oh no.
Big
Good
Andy.
idea, but and that will.
Yeah.
If you Duckets, if you're gonna stay on, we want to go over the Monday night game. We just did the Sunday night game. The Monday night game, Jets and Chargers. I don't know if it's gonna be fun to watch or not. What do you like in that game?
If it were me, if I were a betting man, which I am, I feel like you have to ride with the Jets. And I hate the Jets.
Yeah.
They're on a roll. Zach Wilson's been playing better. Okay. Not good, but better. He hasn't been turning the ball over. And the Chargers haven't been playing well. Everybody's going to be on the Chargers. You have West coming east.
Right.
The game is in New York. It's 3.5, and the Jets just hang around. That's what they do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if.
Ball.
We got ball.
Yeah, don't
Wait,
mind him.
You guys are about to see.
Yeah.
I'll move out of the way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if 17 points wins that game. And the question is, can the Jets score 14? And I think they can. 14 is it.
The Chargers defense is pretty bad, with the exception of Khalil Mack's coming back on. Bosa's getting going. And I know the Jets' offensive line is a little beat up. And I don't know if those two will play. Because, I mean, if you get any type of pressure on Zach Wilson, that guy turns into a peewee quarterback instantly. Like, that guy does not like pressure.
Right. But I think they'll be able to run the ball.
Yeah. If you ball, I think that'll work.
The offensive linemen are all listed. Every offensive lineman for the Jets is questionable. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Most of them are going to play.
You get two animals like that, like Bosa and Mack. That could be
one of the big things, though. The Jet defense all season has found a way to keep them in these games. Like, when they're at full strength, they find a way to keep. They're that good. So I took the Chargers in this game, but I'm not against the Jets. Like I could see the Jets covering or winning the game outright. It won't shock me.
No, yeah, no. I think the defense alone, if they can stop Herbert and Eckler, I think they'll have a great chance. And their defense is really good. Their offense is like you have offensive weapons, you just don't have an offensive shooter. You know what I mean? Like your quarterback's shit. So I think if you hand off to Breece Hall, that's what we do is basically run the ball down their throats, just make it man football, run. Don't let Zach Wilson throw more than 15 times. And I think they can get away with it. Just run the clock out. Just keep the ball out of Herbert's hand, really.
If the Jets can establish Breece Hall, the Jets will win the game. It's that simple. If Breece Hall ends up being the best player on the field, the Jets win the game, no question.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Joe's right. They have to survive till Rodgers comes back if he can. They've won 3
He's actually coming back this year. I mean, he looks good. I mean, he's bouncing.
I
around.
don't think so.
There is no way.
I don't think so. I think this is more of the Aaron Rodgers dog and pony show that goes on with, it's part of having Aaron Rodgers. And I just don't see it. I don't see how any doctor is going to clear a 40-year-old man to go back on an NFL football field within 3-4 months. We're talking.
Did you see him? He was bouncing, man. He was bouncing around, man.
But he still says if you've seen any of his interviews on McAfee, he's got heavy padding in there. He still can't put weight on it. Like he's got a sneaker, like a custom-made sneaker, a size bigger because of all the padding in there. That's not close to being NFL ready. And at 40, I don't see any doctor that's going to take the chance with him in it. I just don't.
No, you're probably right. No, probably not. But I don't think, So, I mean, let's be real. Like without Aaron Rodgers, I don't think the Jets have a chance in hell to really get past. If they make it to the playoffs, they might, depending on who they draw, they might win one game.
They're not winning it. They're not winning a playoff game. I have no issue saying that.
It's just me being nice. That's just me being nice. I don't. They probably won't. But I think that's the best case scenario for them.
Yeah. His teammate, Joe, you're not wrong. It's nothing to do about, at least my opinion of it, has nothing to do about his teammates or who's not invested in him. I just don't think medically it's going to happen. I don't see it as realistic. I think we're looking at training camp, OTAs, absolutely, but not this year. I just don't see it.
Interesting.
Cool.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I don't really see him coming back this year either. I don't really see much of anything. But
nope.
We'll see.
Definitely not. All right, Jim, you got anything else for us before we head out?
I say jam it on the Seahawks. You'll like it today. Go with Seahawks.
Give me one bold prediction.
Ooh, bold prediction. Ooh. Listen, you caught me off guard here. I wasn't ready for a bold prediction. Listen, I got a good was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Jimmy Duck, it's always making money. That's what we do. What is it?
Snack bar?
I got it. What was it? 2 weeks ago? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? With
2 weeks, yeah.
What's his name on the Colts? Minshew had a day. What did it come up?
Oh, yeah.
He had himself a day. You know what? Hall is going to be decently surprising. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to have a solid day. Vikes win.
Okay.
All right.
I like it.
Thanks, Jim. We appreciate it as always, man.
You guys have a good day. Bet with Jim if you want to win.
You got it, man. All right, Jeff. I mean, we're getting into it. Now it's time. What's left to do but push the button, my brother?
Mm-hmm.
Push the button.
All right, we're going to get this started real quick. The 49ers are a mess. They've lost 3 straight. Purdy, from going a guy that we said never turned over the football, and he's thrown in his 3 straight losses, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He looks lost out there. He looks like the league has figured him out. And any game that they've been trailing in the second half, 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions this year. He can't play from behind. They're in trouble. The defense just doesn't look good right now. Chase Young, he may fix it. I don't know. But we're looking at a team. We're looking at a team right now that they don't look like they're even going to the playoffs, and they look like they might still have to start thinking about drafting a QB after this year. Because I don't know if Brock Purdy's it. I don't know. Looking at him right now, last year, he's lost without Deebo Samuel, by the way. His QBR without Deebo Samuel drops over 20 points. And he still and that's still with Ayuk, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. He still has more weapons than most teams in the NFL. But without one guy, he can't seem to survive. I don't know if he's cut out to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan can even fix what's wrong with this team right now. So we're looking at a 49er team that may miss the playoffs, and really, if they do, has to start thinking about, do they have their quarterback of the future, or do they need to be looking in this draft for one as well? A team that knows they got their quarterback right now, Jeff, the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff, especially when it comes to home, Jared Goff's the man. I mean, it's just, they are a home team, and there's probably nobody rooting for the Dallas Cowboys harder than the Detroit Lions today. Because if the Detroit Lions can get that number 1 seed, the Detroit Lions can real easy go to the Super Bowl. Because I don't know if anybody out there, and that includes the Eagles, is beating the Detroit Lions at home. Because they don't lose home games. They are a different, part of the expression, they're a different animal at home. So I think the Detroit Lions, if they can get that number 1 seed, they are a Super Bowl bound team. And we're not going to be talking about the same old Lions, like I said last week, anymore. Jeff.
We're back, baby.
Jeff's back. The Dolphins are moving. But a guy that might not be back, Jeff, Bill Belichick. The biggest rumors going around, and I think there's traction here, man, is that the owners of the new owners of the Commanders are going to look to make an offer for a trade to bring Bill Belichick to DC after this year, which probably means Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy, everybody else is gone, and they want Bill Belichick to come run the show in DC. Which, you know what that means? Josh McDaniels is going to be the Commanders' offensive coordinator next year. Bill's going to get the band back together down in DC, and Bill is going to now. He's tried to prove he can win without Tom Brady. That's failed. He's going to try to prove he can win without the New England Patriots. And I don't know if that's going to work. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on there. I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see Bill Belichick and the cutoff hoodies in Washington next year.
I'd like to see it. I think that's like a perfect fit too, which is weird. But I think it's a really perfect fit. I don't know where Bieniemy goes after this, but
it's going to be. I think Eric Bieniemy attached his horse somewhere that he.
What if he goes to Vegas?
But that is another name of someone that will definitely take that job, because, like we said, not many people will definitely take that job. We'll see if Eric Bieniemy even ends up on that list. But Jeff, let's get into the rest of the Week 9 slate here. We're going to pull up our picks. We're going to show you what we got in this Miami-Kansas City game that started. You are the lone Dolphin on this one, Jeff. The rest of us all went with the Chiefs.
We're coming back, rolling down by a touchdown now.
You are coming back. We are all across the board on the Atlanta Falcons, beating the Vikings today. The Vikings got a rough road ahead of them. They might be a team, we talked about tanking earlier. They might be a team that might look to tank the rest of this year, because without Kirk Cousins, they're nothing. I know people ate me up when I said Justin Jefferson's not worth it. It's not worth him coming back this year. I don't think we're going to see him. I'm going to stand by that. Then we have the Seattle-Baltimore game, where all of us except Ray are in on Baltimore. Ray went with Seattle. I think Baltimore wins. I think Baltimore takes this game.
And Duckets went with
Duckets did. Duckets went with Seattle. So Ray and Enzo are alone on that one. Then we're split on the Arizona-Cleveland game. You and I went with Cleveland. Joe and Ray went with Arizona.
I think the Cleveland defense is just gonna win. Like that's who's gonna win this game. Their defense is way too good. I think they're just gonna shut them down, and that's gonna make it an easy win.
Rookie quarterback making his first start against that defense. I don't know how anyone could like it. I'm sticking with Cleveland. All of us but Joe are in on the Packers. Joe went with the Rams in that game.
I had the Rams until Stafford was out.
Yep, Stafford is now officially out, so I like the Packers even more in that one. My bold prediction centers around that game. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Then we have Houston and Tampa Bay. I am the only one in on the Bucs in this game. I don't dislike Houston. Houston's becoming like everyone's darling team this year. You know, a team that's finally coming around. CJ Stroud's playing well. I think Baker Mayfield's going to go out and play a game today. I think Tampa Bay is going to win. Then we're in the next game. You know, you are the only one on the Commanders in this game. The rest of us all took the Patriots. That I think the Patriots are another one of those teams that are going to win enough games to not give them a top pick. But they're not a good football team. I just think they're better than the Commanders, especially without Montez Sweat and Chase Young now. So I stand by my pick on that one. Then we go into the Bears and the Saints. I am the only one on the Saints in this one, just like I was the only one on the Saints last week. I don't like the Bears' chances at all. The Bears are a mess. That's just how I see it.
But the Saints aren't good either. The Saints are actually pretty bad themselves.
Yeah. I just think the Saints might be a little better in this one.
This whole week of games sucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad games this week. And as we mentioned, all you guys are on the Colts. I'm the only one on the Panthers. As I mentioned before when we were talking to Ducats. I think the Panthers are getting better. I think the Colts are at their ceiling right now with Gardner Minshew. They're an okay football team. I just think the Panthers are on the rise, and I think this is a game. The Panthers are going to win a couple of games this year. I think this is going to be one of them. You know, plain and simple. Then we'll move on to the Giants and Raiders. You're the only one on the Raiders. The rest of us are all in on the Giants today. Yeah, I think I'm actually even going to make a
prediction will be part of this.
We'll wait to see it. I think I'm actually going to have some money on the Giants today too. I like the Giants to pull this out because, like I said, they're going to win enough games to get themselves out of the top 5. It's just what the Giants do. We're a house divided on the Cowboy-Eagle game where Joe and I are with the Cowboys, you and Ray are with the Eagles. It's going to be a hell of a game either way. Like I said, I just like the points, really. That's the only thing that kept me. I think we're looking at a 1-2 point game there. That's the only reason I took the Cowboys in this one. Then we got the Buffalo Bills Cincinnati game. Across the board, everybody's in on the Bengals. I just, like I said it earlier. You agreed with me. I'm not sold on Buffalo, and I'm not going to pick them, especially against a good team. Buffalo is a team for the rest of the year you'll see me picking when they play bad teams because that's what they do. They beat the bad teams. They can't beat the good ones, and that's just my feeling. And then we got Ray is the only one in on the Jets tomorrow night. The rest of us are in on the Chargers.
Yeah, like all that.
Yep. All good there. Jeff is zoned in on the TV, and while he is, it's time to show you guys what you really come here to see, and that's the Perfect Parlay.
Yeah, I'd like to bet $100.
You want to pick a team?
All right,
Jeff, that damn logo.
Yeah, Jeff, this is your baby. I'm going to let you go through the parlay for us.
Yeah, well, I picked Lamar Jackson over 224.5 passing yards. I think he'll easily blow past that. Then you got Kareem Hunt. I think that was Ray. Anytime touchdown. Joe gave us. He was the only one who lost last week, so he has to. Make up for that. So he went Taylor Heineke over 1.5 passing touchdowns, which I kind of like that one. And then you are riding the A.J. Brown train. You won with him, and then all of a sudden you want to go back and use, instead of receiving yards, you're going to go touchdown. But overall, it's plus 2072, which is pretty big. Pretty big.
Yep, I'm going with it. We like it. All right, Jeff. We are coming down to the end here. Let's get your bold prediction.
Bold prediction I said a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to use it again because he's playing this time. I'm going with Aiden O'Connell, and he's going to pass for over 300 yards today.
Aiden O'Connell. I'm going to keep it in the quarterback family, but I'm going with a different one. Jordan Love is going to play.
Holding. No call.
I told you we had to be prepared for this, guys. Jordan Love is going to play the game of his NFL career today, and the Packers are going to win. It's not that bold considering now we know Stafford's out, but I think we're going to see a big game from Jordan Love today, and the Packers are going to take it. Guys, that's about it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Jeff, as you see throughout the show, Jeff's been wearing our merch. Please check out the FiredUpSportsNetwork.com website for all our blogs, all our merch. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are now exclusively on YouTube, Twitch, and on X with the show. We will not be broadcasting it on Facebook Live anymore. So if you want to see it, please make sure you're tuning into one of those. And guys, have a great Sunday. Enjoy your day. Win your bets. And let's go Giants.
Fuck the Chiefs.